Niggas never had these goals like me. These niggas never had these goals like me. These niggas never had these goals like me. Hell no. These niggas.
My name is Timmy Phillips. I am a mentor, a motivator, a health coach, a father to be, phenomenal leader, an amazing person. I'm loyal, loving, caring, all these things. I am what's possible, you know. And why do I say all these I ams and stuff like that? Like, sometimes people take that the wrong way, but I just want to get you straight. Like, the world's going to tell you everything you're supposed to be, what they think of you anyways. People going to tell you what they think of you, what you're supposed to be. So it's very important who you say you are, because what you speak about, you bring about. So if you say I am okay, which I don't get why people just put themselves in an average okay category. Like, nobody was meant to be okay. Nobody's average. Average is a choice. So I encourage everybody to say I am greatness. I am successful. Like, if you're going to start something, you're going to win, you're going to do it. So go out and do it. You know, and I push that on everybody, because when you let your light shine, you let others, you give permission to people around you to let their light shine. So the I ams are very important. Shout out to Dr. Nick. He got me really clear and concise on that. So who am I and why did I choose Herbalife? Like, so I want to give you guys a little background about me and why I got into doing Herbalife. And, you know, the name of my blog I'm going to start doing is like what we talking about, what we doing. Yeah, something like that. My fault. Like, this is authentic, so it may have some like bloopers and stuff like that, but we all good, you know, because what comes from the heart goes to the heart. So first off, a lot of people see me, they don't know my like background, especially those that meet me. They think like a lot of times I hear like I'm all spoken and all these things, and I'm thankful for that. I'm grateful, and it's true, but it's not who I was, like where I came from. Like, just to let you know some quick facts, like I come from the inner city, and I've lived in the worst parts in the South as well. Like, whether it be the country, we're living in a tin house with my big mama, where we had no running water, and I had to like heat water up in the sink and then on the stove to take a shower, or living in Houston where I was fearing for my life every day in one of the worst neighborhoods. So, you know, my mom, she's a struggling drug addict. I love her to death. She's the most beautiful woman in the world. It took a lot of personal development for me to get to this point. And I'm just sharing these things freely and truly with you guys, so that you may see something in my story and take it and make it for yourself. It's not to say this or say that. It's just being honest. You know, my father came from nothing. When I was born, he was living in the projects, sleeping on my grandma's floor and stuff like that. So, but I've seen him work his tail off to get where he's at now. So I've seen a little bit of everything. So when I say like I come from, like a lot of rappers say I come from the mud, which in the South means like the clay. I really come from that. And if the clay is just like, you know, if you're from the South and you've lived in these places, like, you know what the clay is. Like, if you see the clay, you know you're in a country, or you know you're in a part of the city that don't have that much funding. Let's just put it that way. But I come from that, you know. But it shaped me, it's molded me, it's made me who I am. So, like, I remember, like, when I was younger, getting locked up in high school, you know, I was doing things like selling drugs in school. I don't like glorify that at all. Like, it's nothing big, but I was doing it because I didn't have anything. Like, I remember my first day of high school, one of my boys, I had K-Swiss on, because my dad, I never got a pair of Jordans when I was younger, until I was making money to get my own. Never, not once, you know. So I never had that. I remember like just like feeling, getting like joked on, you know, not having like the girls like you like that, because you ain't got the cool clothes, you ain't got the polos and all that. And then on top of that, you going home and, you know, you seeing stuff, like you seeing your mom strung out. Like, I be walking down the neighborhood and I see her like just completely like looking like a zombie. Hey mom, like in the hood, you know, to the point having to go get some of my stuff back from crack dealers and stuff. Like, this is just things that was going on outside of what people seen. So this is what shaped me, what's molded me. So when I say I was selling drugs and doing things like that and got locked up for other things, like, it wasn't because I glorify it like I'm El Chapo, because it's nothing like that. It was never nothing like that. But I was doing it because I wanted to be something. I got tired of, like, you know, like, a lot of people don't understand the situation of, like, if you're in high school, if you're a kid and you're a kid, but you take care of yourself like an adult. Like, you figure out your dinner, you get yourself to school, you do these things. Like, at a certain point in high school, that was me. I didn't have that adult, not just guidance, but adult taken care of. Like, I was paying my own cell phone bill, I was buying my own clothes, I was buying my own food. There's nights we didn't have food. My brother could vouch for this. There's nights we used to go to the YMCA and take a shower because there was no hot water in the house. So we go to the YMCA and work out and stuff. And, like, talking about Herbalife, like, I started working out at that point because I was playing football, and so we just could take a warm shower because the YMCA had that, home didn't have that, right? So it's kind of funny, like, what you go through molds you. So fast forward and stuff, like, going through all that after high school, you know, I was in a situation, I had just got out of a relationship and everything, and I didn't have a job. I was really down on money, and I was really down on myself at the time. But, you know, I said to myself, like, I'm never getting back to this point. I prayed to God. I said, God, as long as you never get me back to this point, I promise to like always try to be better. And he's never got me back to that point. I promise you. So, you know, I remember I went out to the club a few like weeks later or something like that. One of my friends who's not here anymore, you know, rest in peace. You know, he knows I know who he is. I'm not gonna say nothing, but he came to me in the club. He handed me some money. He's like, I really like how you carry yourself. You don't ask people for nothing. You're a hard worker. So he gave me some money and he put me on. And you know, like I said, I'm not gonna say I was El Chapo or nothing crazy like that. But every Friday night for a young man making $500 to $1,000, me and my brother, you know, that was cool. I didn't need a job. Personally, I didn't need a job. So I remember I was doing music too, and I remember I had a show. We did a show with Jeremiah, and Steph comes up to me. You know, Steph Machamp, love you to death. You know who you are watching this. And she's like, yo, you're a good kid. I think I have a job for you. Now, at the time, I was starting to get paranoid, you know, always moving stuff. Like, it's just not, it gets annoying, honestly, after a while. So I was like, cool, I'll take the job. I didn't really know what it meant to have an adult job. I just took the job to take a job, and I was like, okay, I'll go back to school. I'll do all the things the right way. So I got the job at Best Buy and stuff like that. And I remember just working there and just being like, yo, this is so stupid. Like, no offense, it's not stupid. Let me not say that, but for me it was, because I'm like, people are coming in buying like $2,000 MacBooks, and I'm working here, taking time away from my life that I'm never gonna get back. I remember I used to see my friends going to the beaches, see my friends going on trips, see my family and having to work Black Friday and stuff. And I'm like, I'm never going to get this time back. And I can't even afford like the most expensive thing in this store of this company I'm working for. I was #1 in the whole New England region. My paycheck represented 1.5% of everything I did for the company. I said, I know I'm worth more than 1.5%. I know I got to be worth more than that. So I moved to Houston to really pursue the music thing. I was living in one of the roughest neighborhoods. Every night I used to, like, every day I thought I could die. Not every day, I thought every day I could die. Like, you'd wake up on the news and see somebody got shot, like, next door. Dead. Like, seeing people getting thrown out of cars, all cut up. All types of crazy stuff. I don't, like, real gang banging. Like, it's real down there. Like, how you see on TV, where you watch Boys in the Hood on TV, and you really see the Bloods and the Crips and sets and all that. And people, like, it's real like that. Let's just put it that way. So, I went through that. I decided to come back home because let's just be real, like that's no place to live. But it did teach me. I said I could make it anywhere because I was by myself. Me and one of my best friends from New Orleans. Me and him, that's it. Nobody else. I still came out okay. So I knew I was built for anything. So I came back home. When I came back home, I had one thing on my mind. It was still to be successful. Like it was getting to the point where I was like, all right, I got to be something. Like I come from nothing. I come from people saying your mom's an addict, you're going to be like her. I come from seeing all this. So I'm like, I got to take that pain, all that stuff I was born into, and make me something. So I came back. All my friends though, they was all in the streets. Like they was all like, I remember my first car ride back here, and I'm being transparent with this so people can understand that you can make changes no matter where you're at. My first car ride back here, my boys are like, listen, this dude has $250,000. Like, let's go do this and go do that and do some things. And I'm so crazy at the time. I'm like, yeah, why not? I ain't got nothing to lose. Because I didn't care about myself enough or didn't realize how valuable I was or the influence I had at the time. So I was just going with whatever was making money because I thought money was everything. We didn't end up doing it. Like, I kind of was like, I knew the kid. I grew up with him a little bit. Wasn't my best friend, but I knew him. And I was like, yo, I'm just better than that. Like, I'm not a snake. Like, I'm better than that. Like I said, I am loyal. Like, I am a real friend. All my friends will tell you. Anybody that truly knows me will tell you that. So it's something I pride myself on. So I didn't do that. But, you know, I was got to the point where I was working out every day with me and my cousin Mercury Fisk. Shout out Merc. And he would just always tell me, like, yo, we going to come up. We going to do something. He plays overseas basketball now. But back when none of that was there, we just work out. Same group of friends and stuff. We just be working out 3 times a day. Working out. For no God apparent reason. Like, I had an idea I was going to go back and play college football, but that didn't come to down the line. But we were just working out. We were just saying, yo, the work we put in now is going to pay off. But really what was happening was building character. It was building character. It was building self-worth. It was building, like, discipline. Like, that's the reason I stopped drinking. I got tired of being drunk and getting high and stuff and then going trying to, like, work out in the morning. Like, one time he was out and he looks at me and he says, this is boring. There's a bar full of people. I'm like, yeah, it is boring. He's like, you know what? But if we were drunk right now, we would think this was the best time ever. And I'm like, you right. And he's like, don't you think it's crazy how something can make your natural self think that something is good when you naturally think it's stupid? But because you put it in your system, what you think naturally is stupid will make you think it's cool. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, yo, I never want to drink again. That was just a personal decision way before Herbalife. I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to feel like I have to drink to be something or like have fun or like that. So I stopped cold turkey like that, you know. And we still working out. And you know, my major plan before Herbalife, like I said, I told you the circle I was around and what I was doing before I moved to Houston, before I got my job. So my plan was to do that again. Like I was 23, had no car, no nothing. I'm seeing all my friends with money, like money, new whips, foreigns, buying bottles, all these things. And I'm like, why am I trying to do the good boy thing? I'm living with my mom, so I'm living in a crack house, sleeping on a dingy couch, right? I'm like, I know other ways to make money. I'm trying to do it the right way. Nothing's coming from it. So I'm like, you know what? That's what I was going to do. And that's just the environment I came from, the mentality, the mindset I came from. I thought I hated my mom because stuff was getting stolen from me. Like I remember days when I was younger having to go get stuff from back crack houses, like having to go to the crack dealer as a young man, like, yo, listen, gun pointed at me at the door, like, I need my clothes back. You know, and I just say that to be honest because I know people out there watching this go through that kind of stuff. And I just need my clothes back as a young man, 14, 15 years old. Like, I need underwear and stuff back. Like, these are things people will do. And my mom's the most beautiful woman in the world. Don't get that twisted. You know, she just had a tough life and went through her things. But I thank you, Mom, because all those things I went through made me who I am. It makes me not be a quitter. But either way, so I'm seeing all this, and I'm like, you know what? I'm about to come up. Like, I'm out here. I was making more money before working, doing some other things. Like, why am I trying to do all this? Like, forget it. Like, the only thing that matters is let's just make this money. And that's the mentality I had let life get me to because I had no purpose. I had no passion. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I stood for completely. And I didn't love myself. So, you know, while all that's going on, what I found the peace in working out is it started growing character, started growing discipline. It got me to stop smoking, stop drinking. It got me to start thinking like, hey, I want to be healthier. I remember sitting in bed one day like, yo, I want to know how it feels like to run a triathlon or just be like mad healthy like the people in magazines. So I started like being like, yo, I'm going to eat healthy. And all my boys, we be out doing everything. They'd be like, yo, Tim, you're the healthiest dude we know. Like, you know, like, yo, Tim's mad healthy. So I was getting known for like working out. As I was saying, I remember going to one of the Herbalife meetings, seeing the marketing plan and everything, trying to shake. And I was already drinking a lot of shakes, doing stuff. Part-time, I was going to school. I was like, I'm going to go to school for nutrition, go to Springfield College, play college football, and do a little thing on the side so I always have money and all that. And I remember just like trying to shake. The first thing I noticed is like, yo, it's bomb. Like, I was going to drink it even if it tasted like grass. Cause I seen a lot of people on Instagram. I seen a lot of my favorite NFL players. And I was like, yo, people, I go to the store, I go to the gym. And these people are telling me to use stuff. One, they don't even use more than 2 or 3 months. And then number two, they don't really have a before and after using that product the whole time. So I was like, you know what? This dude, I remember seeing Mike, my sponsor, who just hit millionaire team member. Blessings, Mike. For those that don't know, his business does over $1 million a year. He makes 6 figures before the age of 30. Self-made. You know, so, you know, I just seen Mike, and I'm like, yo, this dude's fit. This dude's been using these products since he was a baby. Literally, Mike's been using Herbalife since a baby. Never switched up. That hit home with me, because what? I told you I'm loyal. So I'm like, man, that's me. Like, you know, I could see that. I could see a little myself in him, and I could see a little of who I wanted to be in him. And I'm like, you know what? And I'm never too prideful as a man to, like, say that. Like, some dudes have this weird thing. I put a video up. They don't want to pay homage. Everybody want to be a boss. Nobody want to be an apprentice. Nobody want to learn. Nobody want to be coachable. And that's the problem. But either way, so I seen that, and I'm like trying to shake. I'm like, yo, this tastes good. I would have drank it if it tastes like grass. I see all these dudes. I seen a lot of dudes on the West Coast who I've met now. A lot of people like, you know, Super Mario, you know, shout out Super, you know, Garen Jones. A lot of these guys too. Let me just be honest, a lot of black guys. Because where I come from in the hood, a lot of dudes ain't into working out like that. They're not into their body. They're not into being healthy. So I seen a lot of black dudes. I was like, yo, the brothers is using this. Like, all right. It's not just the white dudes being healthy and like running like miles and all that and doing triathlons. I'm like, yo, I'm going to use this too. Because I seen the before and afters. And I was like, yo, this has to be real. So I went to the meeting and I'm like, yo, Herbalife, it probably tastes like herbs. But that's what I need. I need to be healthy. Because I always had that no excuse mindset. Like coming from my background. The reason I don't feed into excuses or accepting myself, because coming where I'm from, if you feed into excuses, you ain't going to be nothing. And I can't accept not being something. So excuses never was an option for me. Like, so what? I didn't have food. So what? I had to do things other kids didn't. So what? I had to take care of myself. I always said, I'm going to do it. I'm like, put it on my show. So what? My mom's an addict. So what? I had to go to a crack dealer's house and get my stuff back with a gun pointed at me at 14, 15. So what? I was locked up. So what? Like, none of that matters. None of that mattered. I just knew for me to be something, I got to keep trying. I can't give up. I seen people in my family give up, and that's how they end up strung out on drugs. That's how they end up literally going mentally crazy. That's how they end up living and never having much, not seeing the world, not owning property ever. Like, so I never had an excuse. So I was like, yo, this ain't coming from where I'm coming from, how I'm living right now. Yo, this shake, I don't care what it tastes like. I'm about to drink this and then go back and work out with Merc, and we about to get crazy results. So I remember drinking it like, yo, this is bomb. It tastes like an oatmeal cookie. Those that don't know me, my favorite cookie is an oatmeal raisin cookie. So I was like, yo, bless. So I remember it was real good. I had energy. It didn't give me the bubbly guts. A lot of shakes I used to have before had the bubbly guts. So immediately I was like, yo, and I seen the marketing plan. I didn't even think I was going for that. And I'm like, hold on, all you got to do is get 15 people to get to 50%, profit, this and that, and you build a team. I'm like, yo, I could do that. I've done that in the streets, and I've done that working for people. Yo, maybe this is something I can do. But I put it on the back burner because in my mind, I still was going to make a lot of money doing something else. So months go by. I finally go back, start drinking the shakes every day. And I come to the point where I was expecting like this huge return check from school, and tax season was coming. So we all know what tax season means, right? So I had in my mind, I'm going to take my money I get, I'm going to put it here. I'm going to triple it, double, triple, real quick, real quick. And I had the right people around me. Like, I had I'm not going to go too deep on this video, but I am going to be honest. For those that know me now, I apologize if this is too much for you. But I got to be honest and tell you where I came from, because those that are watching that may be living that can see they can make the change and grow. Just understand, if you're looking at this and you don't know where I came from, like when you come up with nothing and you trying to survive and people are telling you nothing, you have lack of self-worth, especially as a black man seeing racism from all different angles, all that. Like, you have a lack of self-worth, and when you have lack of self-worth, you have a different mindset. And that's just fact. A lot of guys are too prideful to say, like, at any point they don't really love themselves. But I can't say I love myself. I was drinking. I was willing to risk my life for things. I was doing stuff I shouldn't be doing. I was willing to risk what my dad invested in me. So, like, no, I didn't understand complete love for self at the time. That's why I was there. But anyways, I was going to take all that money and do something else. And, I remember I went in there one day. I'm sipping the shake. And I'm just saying to myself, I said, one day, I talked to this guy, Tony, that owns, like Juice Bar and World Gym. If you're from Worcester, you know what that is. And he's like, yeah, I make over $250,000 a year. It took me 10 years to build it up that way, but I make it now. And I said to myself, you know what? Because I drank his shakes and stuff faithfully, worked out faithfully. I never got a real result from it. But I was like, if I ever find something that works for me, I know I got the hustle and ambition to put behind it to do it. So when I was drinking a shake, I'm like, you know what? I was sitting there with Mike. I had $185 to my name until my next, check was going to come in from what I told you about. So I was like, you know what, though? Let's do this, Mike. Sign me up. So I got going, and this is no fabrication. I got going. And I didn't cheat for the first 54 days. I used my products religiously. Why didn't I cheat? I used to look at pizza, sweets, and everybody that knows me, I love pizza. I love sweets. I used to look at it like, yo, and like hear voices in my head from people telling me I want to be nothing. Hear voices in my head of getting made fun of for not having anything. Hear voices in my head from people in high school looking down on me because they don't understand why I'm lashing out like that because of my background I come from. I'd hear all these voices and I'd be like, nah, that pizza ain't worth it right now. Like, we got to grind. We got to make something of this. Like, in the first started with self. So I didn't cheat for 54 days. It was nothing to me because I was so hungry. Like, it didn't mean nothing. No excuses. I didn't have a blender to make my shake. Like, tell you the truth, when I first started making some money with Herbalife, I went and bought a blender. I didn't have a blender. I was living in a crack house, sleeping on a dingy couch on a stove with one eye. That's just the truth of the matter. Like, one eye. So the only thing I could make was eggs, bacon, oatmeal. One night my mom somehow, I don't know how she did it. She put like chicken in a pan and like put a top on it and somehow baked it. I don't know how she did it. She created miracles. Love you, Mom. But real talk. So I didn't have like the privy blessings to be able to have the resources, but no excuse. That like just made me hungry. Like, that's why I'm gonna do it. So I was so consistent. I got a 6-pack. I never had a 6-pack before in my life, ever. Like, I went from a weird phase of being extra chubby to being mad tall and mad skinny. Both ways I didn't feel comfortable with my shirt off, like, at all. Like, after high school, you real skinny girls look at you like, ew, you're a man. Where's your muscles at? So that wasn't cool. And being chubby, we all know how that go. So I didn't cheat. I got my six pack, and I didn't think I could gain weight because I had tried before. I was working out 3 times a day. Like, people who know me know this is fact. Like, yo, me and Merck put in so much work, and he went on to play overseas basketball in Mexico and Spain and all these places. So, blessings, Merck, I love you. Like, if you're watching this, let it be known I love you for what you instilled in me, for always telling me I was something, always telling me I was going to come up, always telling me I'd be something. I used to say the same thing to you. So I encourage you all to surround yourself with people that believe in you, and that's fact, and will always push you. I remember one day we was working out, and I got tired because he was in better shape than me at the time, and I got tired, and he said, yo, Tim, and excuse my language, he said, that little, you know what inside of you, that little inside of you, that little N word inside of you that always tells you to quit, tell him go home. And I used to think like, yo, when I want to quit, tell myself, yo, you don't go home. It's time for the big boys to play. And yo, it really created something in me. So, anyways, so I never was able to gain weight, and I was working out like a dog. I was lifting over 220. I was doing everything like people, like the hit numbers on the lifts that people say you should be hitting. I was doing all that. I was stronger, I was faster, more athletic than pretty much everyone I knew around me. And I was like, yo, I just can't gain weight. So I was like, I'm going to get a six-pack. I'm going to eat healthy, because not only eat healthy, but I started Herbalife because I was eating healthy already. And I was using supplements, and supplements are like supplemental income. They don't replace your food, just like supplemental income don't replace your income. It helps fill in gaps. So those who don't have enough money make enough to survive. And for those, like, it's almost impossible to eat every single vitamin and mineral you need every day. And I was learning that as I was trying to do the school thing too. Right? I was trying to do the school thing too, because I was going to go to school, have that look, so there's no attention on the other side, and I was going to lay real low and make hella money and lay real low, so I could have a bag when I got out of school. So, but while going to school, I was taking bio classes, and I had like a 3.1, 3.8 GPA. I passed my bio. I told my biology teacher, listen, I'm not coming Friday nights because I got to go to fit camp. Like, straight up, this is how hungry I was to start doing it when I did it. And I still passed with a B+. I really got an A if I was in class, but they dock you for participation. Anyways, so I was already aware, like, you know what, of nutrition. I was aware of these things, so I was like, all right, cool. But I'm using Herbalife because I need to fill in these gaps. So what happened, I got my six-pack, which I wasn't surprised because I'm coachable. You tell me how to do it. Mike never really had to do the follow-up thing with me. He's like, yo, drink 2 shakes, you make it like this, you do that. Boom. Mike didn't even know what I was really going through at the time, but I'm like, yo, I got to make this work. No excuse. This has to work. Or I'm going to be in the streets. Because I can't stay where I'm at right now. And that's just what it was. So what happened was I gained 10 pounds in 54 days. Actually, the first month I gained 10 pounds. In 54 days, I gained 15 pounds. And I got a six-pack. So most of it was lean muscle. You go from no six-pack to six-pack, a lot of it's lean muscle. It's not just water weight, And then things took off, My third month, I made $1,200 part-time around my job. I was like, this is cool. My fourth month, I made $1,900. Like cash money, and I got a check in the mail for $954. So what's that, over $2,500 part-time? Like, this is between going to school, working full-time, and now running a business part-time, $2,500. This is while living with my mom, seeing her strung out. Like, I remember one night, like, she was like almost butt naked on the floor, like convulsing, like this, spinning in circles, and I got so numb to everything. I was like, yo, Mom, I love you, good night. Woke up the next morning, went to school, went to fit camp, smiling face, and I fell in love with being able to be that change for somebody, because I was going through hell, and I kind of didn't want nobody to feel that. So that's why I chose Herbalife, like the product result, and then also like the business. Why do the business? Like, a lot of people don't understand when people reach out to them, especially me. I'll speak for myself. If I reach out to somebody, I'm not chasing a dollar, because I could have made a lot more money doing a lot more wronger things. So it wasn't about the dollar. Now, although the long-term dollar, yes, I do it because I want a long-term business for my family, for my daughter that's on the way when she wants to go to college or whatever she wants to do. Because, I even, like, looking at me, she may not want to go to school. She may want to be like Dad and be a business owner. Who knows? But she can have a bag. She can have a nice savings account. I ain't got to tell her to pick out this car and a lot because it's what we can afford. I'm like, baby, you want that one? You earned it. Go get it. So, yes, I do it for the long-term dollar. But so, yeah, like I was saying, I started the business because I wanted to make a change and change me. And I thought to myself, if this could take a kid that was about to do all these things, if this could take a kid that was doing all these things and completely change me, how many people can I impact with my story? What can I do for my city? What can I do for my friends? That was a bigger piece of it. Like, some of my friends, like I look, they go through some things sometimes, and I'm just like, I still be like, yo, I talk to them every now and then. We can't hang out all the time due to different lifestyles, but every time I talk to them and they know, I'm like, yo, you can change. Like, yo, you could take that and do something with yourself. Like, yo, you're a king. Like, yo, you should be living like this. Like, think about the long-term thing. So I'm thinking, if this could do this for me, who can I impact? So that's why I started the business side of it. And I do that so passionately because everybody's life can change. I have people that I work with that may not come from the same background, but they may be a mom that gets by every single month, just gets by, wants to take their kids to, like, I don't know, Punta Cana or something, and could never fathom doing that. So I know if I share this business passionately with them after they get a result on the product, an extra 500 to 1,000 a month is an extra $6,000, extra 6 to 12 grand a year that they may be able to take their kids on vacation, or maybe they're getting tired of not having enough and they want to build an income where they're making 6 figures, and their whole life and their family's life has changed. You know, I do this because somebody may come from my background. I may bump in, not may. It's going to happen. It's just bound to happen. I'm going to bump into somebody, some kid that's going through the same thing I'm going through or went through. And I can show him, like, yeah, this may take more work. This may take longer. This may take you growing yourself as a person, but you can do it. If I did it, you did it too. And then I just take all the pain and stuff that I was brought up with, and I fueled that into being something. And I truly love these products. I believe in this. My dad's down 25 pounds. There's no, like, it's not, Jim Rohn said, what would you do if you had no money? Like, if you didn't get paid for nothing, like, money wasn't an issue, and I still would be doing this. I was doing it beforehand. I was working out. I was telling my boys they need to work out. Like, yo, you need to start eating healthy. You need to start drinking. I was speaking life into people. So Herbalife was just a vessel that found, like, God made it align and said, this is your calling. Go ahead and do it. So I'm so passionate. So I speak passionately. So I take it personally. Like, when somebody quits on a program, honestly, like, you know, it took me to learn and grow not to take it so hard. But I'd be like, damn, yo, you quitting on yourself. Like, come on, let's get back into it. When coach quits on the business, I'd be like, damn, yo, you quitting on yourself. Let's get back into it. And there's a lot of people that are doing successful. So it's not even like that happens all the time. But when it does, it still hits me a little bit because, you know, I lead with heart. So, you know, that's my story. That's who I am. And that's a little bit. And even that's just a still microscopic piece of why Herbalife and why I'm doing it. So what we doing, what we talking about, man. I'm a health coach. I help people change their lives through fitness. And then also I help them change their lives through finances if they so choose. So what we got going on? We got fit camps. It's been going on 3 years now, right? Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6:30 and 7:30. It's a boot camp. I'm jacked up about tonight. I'm about to go work out. I ain't even coaching it tonight. Coach Kim, holla at me. I know you coming with the heat. About to go work out. It's where I started. It was my happy place to work out. A lot of people around me. I don't work out with people. I found when I was working out with these positive people, being around these positive people helped me shape my mindset to, like, yo, there is real positivity. There are real people in the world. There is people that can tell you something and you can take it to the bank with it when you first meet them. The world's not how I'm raised, you know? So, love fit camp. We do the fit camps, we do weight loss challenges, right? We do those like 3 times a year. Help the community lose over 2,000 pounds. Now it's probably like over 4,000 pounds because we tallied that up 2 years ago almost, right? What else we do? Mentoring, like everything in the book. It's not just the shake. Now the shakes are the #1 shakes in the world. Also, I didn't know that when I started. Nobody came to me and pitched me on it. I seen it and I went to it, so I had a different mindset. But I learned the #1 shake in the world. 1 in every 3 shakes consumed around the world is a Herbalife shake. Period. We got the #1 doctor of nutrition, Dr. David Heber. He makes our shakes. Period. We got the #1 sports nutrition line. It's the line that the NFL used as product of choice at the NFL Combine. NSF approved. That means that's why you see Olympians use it. The #1 women's triathlete, Heather Jackson. She's a Herbalife athlete. Cristiano Ronaldo, Herbalife athlete. And all of our athletes, just because they're sponsored, if they don't use the products, we don't sponsor them. Like, we don't want to, like, fake it. That's why David Beckham's not with us anymore. So, like, everything the company's built on, just really, like, built on me, and I believe in it. So, that's who I am. That's what I do. What we talking about, what we doing, we talking about, you know, life changing, and what we doing, we changing lives. So, Timmy Phillips, your local health coach. I'll be doing these once a week. I'm going to switch it up every week, but this is just the introduction, and I'm going to bring some guests on. We're going to talk about nutrition, growth, you know, mental growth, life, all that stuff. Love and peace to everybody. Bless.